All right. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing well. Merry Christmas Eve, Feliz Noche Buena. Always a joyful time, and we'll see in the 3.5, 4 hours how joyful it is for the Miami Dolphins.
Let me tell you, doing this show's a royal pain in the ass.
Uh,
All I'm doing
yeah,
is eating lechon the entire freaking time, bro. Okay, like it's just going from downstairs. That it's just coming through, bro. It's just I'm hungry. I'm starving already. Because actually we got to eat during the game because I
yeah,
can't. I got post game, so
yeah.
gotta kind of like I gotta balance the whole. They've adjusted the meal for me to do it within, the game and all that. So it's kind of like halftime is when they're serving the food, and so I get to eat and then watch the game and keep working in the second half. So
Yeah. We're all
shows how.
managing. We're all managing the work schedules around the holiday, around the game, and then like I have my dad doing the lechon back home. That's what I'll come home to like after 10 p.m. tonight. Whenever I finish doing all my writing and working, joining you post game, all that, then I'll come home to the family and enjoy the Christmas Eve the Cuban way.
Right. But everybody already had their food, right? That's the thing.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately,
I'll be the last one for sure. Yeah, and my family does eat late. I mean, we are
we all
human.
eat
Yeah,
late.
yeah,
Very
right.
earlier than normal now because of this, actually. Because halftime, it's pretty close, actually, but maybe a little slightly early because you would figure what halftime's around 6:30. So yeah, it's pretty close. I could see us normally around a 7:30,
6. I got
o'clock.
it. Yeah, I would figure 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
4:25
But
kickoff. Yeah,
I can see it's going a little later to 7:30 normally,
yeah.
actually. So
I've
yeah,
been
we're
holding off on lunch. I've been holding off on lunch, so I'm gonna have that now once I get off here before the kickoff occurs. So yeah,
I haven't eaten much. The
do
old
some
lady
halftime.
brought me some boniato, and I've been eating a little boniato here during the pregame because I had to get something in my stomach, bro. The
Definitely.
fasting, I've been fasting for a long time right now since yesterday, so I had to snack on something. All right, did the inactives go the way you thought? Because I thought actually Tyreek and Austin were going to play. I thought they would make it, and the guys that I thought wouldn't make it would Hun and Holland and those kind of cats. It kind of went the way I thought. How about you?
Yeah, I was leaning toward definitely Tyreek Hill. I felt he was going to be active. Mike McDaniel expressed that optimism, so that had me feeling optimistic as well that he would go. So then we go to Xavier Howard. Yeah, I was a little iffy on him. I wasn't certain. Now Xavier Howard said himself he would go. He said that Thursday, but we do know he has said that in the past, and then he ends up not going. So he's the eternal optimist when it comes to his injury. So I still wondered a little bit, especially when. Ethan Bonner was elevated, although it's not like Ethan Bonner was going to start for Xavier Howard if he was out. It was more depth, but then also special teams rollover. It could have been Elijah Campbell, although he is active, but he popped up on the Friday injury report. The special teams sort of dominoes that occurs. So I was wondering with that Ethan Bonner elevation, but I mean, expected Emmanuel Ogba to be out because they did bring up Melvin Ingram, so which they might have done anyway, but get that pass rusher for him. Austin Jackson, yeah, I did feel he would play once he went through the Friday, and the team needs him at right tackle, so he's got to muscle through this one. And just the fact that there was no offensive line elevation, it was once Robert Hunt was out, they were down to their 8 active linemen, so he that sort of narrowed it down. He had to be active for the Dolphins.
Last week they allowed Ramsey to follow Brees a little bit. Some people think that that'll become kind of the norm, and I know you guys asked him this week. I don't believe it is. I believe it just happened because X wasn't there, and they just didn't want to take a chance and said, "All right, let's shadow him a couple times and let's play with the kid's head." I don't think any of that will go on with CeeDee Lamb today. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think so because I believe Vic Fangio and also Jalen Ramsey when they have said that it was only because Xavier Howard was out and Jalen Ramsey he appeared a little bit frustrated, irritated on Friday that he's not getting the next chance to shadow a top receiver, CeeDee Lamb, coming to Hard Rock Stadium today. So I don't know if you saw video clips of him speaking. He was
I
a
didn't
little.
read it that way. I didn't read it that way.
Oh, okay.
I read it as you guys are asking something he can't answer, yet you know what
Mm,
he is and what he can do, but it's just one of those things. Like, he's not going to tell you. Like, whoever was that asked him, you look at his face right away. It's like, yo, dude, what am I going to tell you? Game plan? So it's just one of those. I think he was more frustrated with the fact that it's like, okay, you all know exactly what he can or can't do. You know he can shadow somebody if he wanted to, and if they want him to, but that's not really the game plan. That's never really the game plan with Fangio.
Right.
But it's something like you put him in an uncomfortable position because he can't answer anything. Really, he can't answer it with a complete denial because then he could end up being a liar. And he could tell you obviously what's going to go on because then that would be wrong to tell you what the game plan is. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he was frustrated that it was a no-win situation for him because he really can't address it.
Yeah, I think that might play a part in it, but I read I sense that he wants to shadow CeeDee Lamb and then knows that's not what Vic Fangio does, and that the only reason it was done the previous week is that X was not opposite him and was not available, and that then he was going to be playing, so meaning Jalen Ramsey has to stick to his side again. So I feel like he wants that challenge, but that reading a little bit deeper into his, because it wasn't only the one that he next questioned and then said, "Come on, you guys know what I'm capable of." It was the first one to start off. He just straight out said, "That's not the game plan. That's not my role in this defense." And so he was flat out there when he said that one. So, and his face after he said it kind of indicated like, I would like to, but that's not what I'm asked to do.
Right. That's exactly. And so that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
You guys are asking him something that has nothing to do with the defense. It's not a characteristic of the defense. It's not the way it's the reason
they just
why.
did it. They just did it.
Right,
under different circumstances.
Exactly. But that's the reason why they went after another great corner. And that's the reason why even before that, they got X and Byron. So clearly, the way they want to run their defenses is to have elite corners in the back end to kind of, make everything easier for them. And so that's why when you're running the defense that Fangio has, he knows that there's none of that going on. You're not going to do that. That's why.
What I also find interesting is you can get a glimpse inside the mind of Fangio and just where he has all his corners. So he goes from the difference from Jalen Ramsey to Xavier Howard. He's not going to have Jalen Ramsey shadow. The difference from Xavier Howard to Kader Kohu, he is not going to have X shadow like we saw week 4 against Buffalo. Difference between Jalen Ramsey and Kader Kohu, now he is going to have Jalen Ramsey shadow Garrett Wilson. So gives you a glimpse of where his sort of tipping point is on how he measures his cornerbacks.
Yeah, and also he's the best cornerback and the healthiest cornerback. Also, X has not been healthy. It's not something you really want to do to him out there. You probably want to keep him on his side is where probably.
Yeah, right now he has the hip. So he's playing through it. Yeah, just limit how much running he has to do, because that was extra running for Jalen Ramsey, going to the middle of the field every time on a huddle, and then where's 17? Where's Garrett Wilson? Oh, I go here. All right, now I'm going here. Now I'm running all the way out here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. So today, what if you say the key element for a win for the Dolphins is what?
Containing Micah Parsons. I want to see Austin Jackson, how he comes out as he's playing through this oblique. That's going to be the big matchup, maybe the biggest one. And Micah Parsons moves around a lot, but I think if the Cowboys notice early on that he is vulnerable, Austin Jackson is, as he's trying to play through this oblique injury, and it limits his mobility, whatever the case may be, then it could have the potential to just completely snowball into something that's very problematic for the Dolphins. Or if Austin Jackson is fighting through that injury and containing him, and then forcing Micah Parsons to try to find other areas to get through, and none of it is working, and Tua's getting the ball out quickly, and all of it sort of marries into limiting his impact, then I think the Dolphins will be successful in this game. Then on the other side, we do have Zach Martin playing all-pro right guard, although left tackle Tyron Smith is out. So Conversely, I'm looking at maybe that matchup: Bradley Chubb going against the backup left tackle for the Cowboys. I'd have to look his name back up, so Chubb, after a big game, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, one of them recovered. If he could have a similar impact to the game, and the Dolphins are limiting Micah Parsons on the other side, that's going to be the big swing, I think, because I think we're going to see Tyreek Hill do what he's capable of doing. Maybe Jalen Waddle get in the mix. The run game work. Cowboys' run defense isn't top notch, and Jonathan Hankins, their big nose tackle, is out. So I think that would be the key. If they have those 2 things working, then the Dolphins will certainly come away victorious.
You're thinking of the Chuma Edoga guy?
Chuma Edoga, yes. I wrote his name yesterday as Tyron Smith was ruled out, but I wasn't going to take a crack at saying it. Thank you.
For me, it's cool. For me, the key is the running game more than anything else, because if you want to slow down that pass rush for Austin Jackson, then I'm actually outside zoning his ass several times, putting him on his heels, making him tackle, making Austin Jackson, give Austin Jackson an opportunity to get his hands on him and drive his ass. That to me is the key to all of this, to slowing their pass rush down, to pushing that defense around, limiting their possessions, and at the same time opening up passing lanes for Tua Tagovailoa. I think if you run the hell out of the football, I think it opens everything up and it limits some of the things that they can do on defense.
Yeah, that would go hand in hand with containing Micah Parsons, who is not the run stopper. He is a pass rusher. So that is something that you could find susceptible there in Dallas and in Micah Parsons.
Yeah. To me, that is absolutely the key. Running game for you. Do we see Chris Brooks today?
I don't think we'll have Chris Brooks as a major part of the game plan. I would figure Mostert and Achane are going to handle a bulk load of the carries. So Brooks is lower on and then he'll contribute on special teams too. And maybe we see some of that fullback stuff that we had seen from Brooks. When Alec Ingold would go out. So maybe some of that. Well, let's see. I'll be interested.
Okay, Chase Claypool. Will we see him with some fades?
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting? River Craycraft is a healthy scratch for this game, so that's one wide receiver that's out of his way. They play different roles in wide receiver positionings, but just as far as depth-wise, that is one name that is in the way. But I still would venture to say no. I think we've seen enough of a sample size where every time we think they're going to this Chase Claypool package that Mike McDaniel speaks of so often, we only saw it in the 30-0 late in the Jets blowout win. So I'm going to guess no, but there's an outside shot. Maybe now as we get deeper into these games, they mean more. Maybe some of that stuff that they've been holding off starts to come to light in one of these 3 games at some point. Maybe it's today.
Let's hope so, dude, because the boys need to get it done. Defensively, who's the key for you today?
Defensively, on the Dolphins defense? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'll go to Bradley Chubb. I think if he has a huge game and he's attacking Odoga for the left tackle for the Cowboys and coming through on Dak Prescott's blind side, then that's going to be huge. We know what Jalen Ramsey's capable of. Xavier Howard is a big X factor in how strong he's able to perform on his side. And if the Cowboys are going to be throwing CeeDee Lamb over to his side with the Dolphins not moving their corners, then that would be huge as well.
All right, what's the prediction, bro?
Okay, I am sticking with what I've said all week. I predicted in the Sun Sentinel that I have the Dolphins scoring 27, Cowboys scoring 24. Dolphins win by a field goal.
What's the acceptable finish in these 3 games for the Miami Dolphins? What do they have to do in your eyes?
Okay, they have to win 2 out of the 3 because you come away with the division secured winning 2 out of the 3. And I think what were the Dolphins up to 3 games up on the Bills? Did they ever get to? They never got to 4, right?
No.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3 was the most they had. So 3 that deep into the season where all the different simulations have a 90-something% chance to win the division. You have to finish that off. So that means they can clinch it if they win these next 2, and then you're not going into Buffalo worried about the division. That's more for seeding, or you win one of the 2 and then win the game against Buffalo, which even if you lose to, you can still reclaim the division, beating Buffalo. But I don't want to see them losing both to Dallas and Baltimore and then coming away with the division sort of backdooring with a regular season finale win. I want to see them win 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see them run the table, but worst case scenario, I need 2 out of 3.
Right. Yeah, you run the table and you control your own destiny. You get that number 1 seed. So that's best case scenario, obviously.
And I know Baltimore's losing today. I know they're losing to San Francisco. So
tomorrow night, Monday night.
Tomorrow night they'll lose to San Francisco. You got a chance to win tonight, and then next week you beat them again, and you put them away completely, dude. And then by the Buffalo game, that means nothing. Means absolutely no. You can rest people left and right. In fact,
you just have to worry about the Chiefs. You still have to worry about the Chiefs if they win out. Then in that scenario, yeah.
Because they own the tiebreaker too.
They would have the tiebreaker. They're 1 game behind, so yeah. If they win their next 2 and go into that week,
I don't even know who they play.
Ooh, let me see if I can find that quickly. I remember it didn't seem that difficult of a final stretch. Here we go. Raiders, Bengals, Chargers.
Oh God, that's very winnable. All the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Man.
Here's the other thing with the Baltimore game, the Monday night game, is that they play Monday night cross country, San Francisco, a game that'll be very physical on both sides. So then they're flying back, 5-hour flight from San Francisco to Baltimore. They'll get in early Tuesday morning. So by the time they're back at their facility, granted the Dolphins also have to travel to Baltimore late in the week, but the Dolphins have already had a day and a half on them from finishing up tonight against the Cowboys. So that's a big difference leading into then. It's going to be a very short week for Baltimore, although they stay at home for the game. But then the Dolphins have a lot more rest on the front end of the week in preparation.
Tua, what do you think?
Tua, what for today?
Yeah.
He's got his boy. He's got Tyreek Hill back, so I believe we're going to see a really strong game. He already played well against the Jets with Jalen Waddle leading the receiving corps, so I think we see a nice game from him. And then maybe Dak Prescott is going stride for stride. That's why I have a 27-24 game. So I think both of them are going to throw a couple of touchdowns, and there'll be some little back and forth going between the two offenses, and then you'll have your moments where the defenses make some big time plays as well.
Let's hope so. All right, we'll catch you in the post-game show, fresh out of the locker rooms. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up post-game show.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
There you go. Welt and Rheaume. Make sure you call them 954-966-4646.